Only the size of your heart matters. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart. I ran to the beach with my black rubber flippers tucked underneath my arm and my mask in my left hand. Coming to parade rest, I anchored the flippers in the soft sand, leaning them against each other to form a teepee. Standing to my right and left were other students. Dressed in green T-shirts, khaki swim trunks, neoprene booties, and a small life jacket, we were preparing for our morning 2-mile swim. The life jacket was a small, rubberized bladder that inflated only when you pulled the handle. Among the students, it was considered shameful if you had to use your life jacket. Still, the SEAL instructors were required to inspect every life jacket before each swim. This inspection also gave the instructors an opportunity for more harassment. The surf off Coronado that day was about 8 feet high. The waves were coming in lines of 3, plunging with a roaring sound that made each student's heart beat a little faster. As the instructor moved slowly down the line, he came to the man directly to my right. The student, a seaman recruit and brand new to the Navy, was about 5'4" in height. The SEAL instructor, a highly decorated Vietnam vet, was well above 6'2" and towered over the smaller man. After inspecting the student's life jacket, the instructor looked over his left shoulder toward the pounding surf and then reached down and grabbed the student's flippers. Holding them close to the young sailor's face, he said quietly, "Do you really want to be a frogman?" The sailor stood up straight, and with a look of defiance in his eyes, "Yes, instructor, I do," he shouted. "You're a tiny little man," the instructor said, waving the flippers in his face. "Those waves out there could break you in half." He paused and glanced towards the ocean. "You should think about quitting now before you get hurt." Even out of the corner of my eye, I could see the student's jaw begin to tighten. "I won't quit," the sailor replied, drawing out each word. Then the instructor leaned in and whispered something in the student's ear. I couldn't make out the words over the breaking waves. After all the trainees were inspected, the instructors ordered us into the water, and we began our swim. An hour later, I crawled out of the surf zone, and standing on the beach was the young seaman recruit. He had finished the swim near the head of the class. Later that day, I pulled him aside and asked what the instructor had whispered to him. He smiled and said proudly, "Prove me wrong."